So it looks like a Missouri pharmacist might have just blown the AutoPen scandal wide open. And I'm not talking about just fuzzy authorization of whether or not Joe Biden knew that his signature was being used at certain points throughout the administration, but it looks like there's someone alleging actual forgery of those signatures. So our good friend SK, who everyone knows is one of the world's greatest researchers, started pulling examples of Joe Biden's signature over the last several years. These are two of the AutoPen signatures that were historically used and affixed to documents. And I want you to pay very close attention to something really important. Do you notice the B in both of these signatures? And here's the signature used to pardon the Biden family. Again, notice the B. There's just one major problem with that. That's not how Joe Biden makes his Bs. Here's another recent signature of his. See that? And here's another one from 2019. Do you notice how Joe Biden made his B in this signature? Oh, but wait. Look. Look who makes their Bs like we saw on those AutoPen signatures. Yeah, that person. Jill Biden. See how she makes her Bs? Oddly enough, it's exactly the same way it was used to pardon the Biden family. And in both AutoPen A and AutoPen B examples of the signatures, that's the exact same B that you see in Jill Biden's signature.
Biden's pardons? They're not worth the paper they were also signed on. And as the investigation into Fauci charges full steam ahead, real prosecution and real reckoning has never been closer.
If you're vaccinated, you don't have a risk. And that's the reason why we say it's as simple as black and white. You're vaccinated, you're safe. You're unvaccinated, you're at risk. Simple as that.
I was literally just following doctor's orders, following the government mandates, and now this is my life.
Free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated.
After every vaccine shot, and I had 3, my eczema got worse.
But there's also a burger element to this.
Do you know that I'm paying $1,164 on a medication called Dupixent? By the way, that's half off. On a drug that I did not need prior to this, prior to the vaccines.
Prosecutors are licking their lips, some of whom have lost family members at Fauci's hands. And here's why. They've got an ironclad case against Fauci, locked and loaded, just begging to be unleashed. It's an open and shut case, and they're itching to pull the trigger. What's surfacing now is absolutely staggering. Like the revelation that Fauci used taxpayer money to fund a technique that allowed his global network of scientists to engineer man-made viruses and erase the evidence. It's called seamless ligation, a method designed to leave no genetic fingerprints. Fauci and the elite weren't just playing God, they were planning how to get away with it.
So one of the reasons that the system has become so corrupt, I think it's fair to say, is Anthony Fauci, one of the longest-serving federal employees, who was the subject of one of the best-selling books of a couple of years ago, which you wrote, The Real Anthony Fauci, amazing book. And all this information about him was exposed to the world, and he gets some sinecure at Georgetown and still has Secret Service protection. He seems to be thriving.
He doesn't have Secret Service protection
any longer.
No, President Trump took that away from him. But
good.
He got immunity. Why did he need immunity? Why did he need a pardon in advance?
What do you think the answer is?
I would be speculating, but I think he was vulnerable. I think he had a lot of liability on creating the coronavirus. He was funding precisely that research at the Wuhan lab.
Yep.
And he was giving them the technology. He was giving them, he gave them not only the technology, the precise technology for developing that pathogen, and published about it, by the way. And the publications credit NIH for financing the studies, but he also gave them, one of his fundees, Ralph Barrick from the University of North Carolina, developed a technique called the seamless ligation technique, which is a technique for hiding the laboratory origins of a manipulated virus. So that normally, if there's a virus manipulated, you can look at it. Researchers can look at it. They can look at the DNA sequences, and they can say this thing was created in a lab. But Ralph Barrick had developed a technique that he called the no-seum technique, and its technical name was seamless ligation, and it was a way of hiding evidence of human tampering. What is the public health rationale? If you were interested in public health, you would want to be doing the inverse of that. You would want to be pinning red flags all to it and say this was created by people.
That's what you would do if you were creating viruses for biological warfare.
Right, that's right. And that's another question, is why would he give it to the Chinese? I mean, that was a military lab. It was run by the military.
Fauci stands accused of being the worst mass murderer humanity has ever known. And he admitted in his own emails that he planned the pandemic. Hundreds of millions of people, and counting, have died because of the evil of Dr. Fauci. The modern-day Joseph Mengele lied about everything and destroyed the lives of millions. Future generations will spit at the mention of his name. In classrooms, children will whisper it with dread, taught to tremble at its sound. History will bear the weight of his disgrace. Hundreds of millions lost, their graves a silent testament. It's time to arrest Dr. Fauci. Here at The People's Voice, we're determined to continue exposing the crimes of the elites, but we need your help. Subscribe to the channel, tell your friends and family about us, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored content. We can't do it without you. Government agencies, NSA, CIA, Mossad, you name it, are tapping your every move online, feeding their globalist surveillance machine. Your VPN isn't saving you, your VPN is spying on you. They flash no logs like it's a promise. But what they're really saying is, trust us. Trust foreign outfits in Israel, Panama, Romania, Switzerland? Trust them not to sell your data when the globalists tighten their grip? We know their plans, they told us. They're building a digital prison planet, digital IDs, 50-minute cities, total internet control. The globalist takeover needs one thing. Every click, every search, every move you make online in their hands. You think you're safe? Mossad has just been busted spying on White House officials. Nobody's safe. I don't know about you, but it boils my blood knowing they're chaining the internet to their globalist agenda. That's why I've partnered with VP.net, the world's first verified privacy network. They don't promise trust, they prove it. Cryptographic proof in real time that they can't see your traffic. They can't see it, and neither can some tyrannical government, not even if they came with court orders and threats. Your data is locked in Intel SGX secure enclaves. Cryptographic vaults so secure, even the owners of VP.net are shut out. This isn't privacy by some flimsy policy, it's privacy by design, built to break their control. Once you see VP.net, you can't go back. Still using legacy VPNs in 2025? That's like wiring your brain straight into the surveillance matrix. Strike back against the digital overlords by visiting vp.net/TPV. It's privacy by design because the internet's their battlefield and vp.net is your shield.